Hello, thanks for the opportunity to present here. And today I would like to talk about an interesting IO campaign that we name Operation Texonto. So first quick presentation about myself. I'm a senior malware researcher at ESET, and I also lead one of our threat research team in Canada. So what is Operation Texonto? Actually, you can see it as a modern version of airborne leaflet dropping technique that was heavily used during, for example, World War II. So the goal is to spread information, real or fake, to the enemy army or to the population. In case of Operation Texonto, the main targets are Ukrainians, and it's deeply related to the current war between Russia and Ukraine. So for us, it all started in November 2023 when we detected a significant wave of emails targeting people in Ukraine. So it was like individuals, civil servants, also government officials. And all those emails were sent from an email address controlled by the attacker, so mozilla@ua-minagro.com. So it impersonates the Ukrainian Ministry of Agriculture. So this email talks about shortages of medicines and the fact that Ukraine is no longer buying medicine, like drugs from Russian and Belarusian firms. So first, it's interesting that they impersonate the Ministry of Agriculture to send email about drugs. So attached to the email, there was this PDF document. It's at the beginning, it's the same text that was in the email. And at the top, you can see the logo of the Ministry of Health of Ukraine. So I really think like they did some mistake by using an email address related to the Ministry of Agriculture. If we Google translate it, you can see like they are talking about shortages of drugs, etc. So it's really typical Russian propaganda. And there was other topics such as, for example, the lack of food, and there is a recipe of pigeon risotto, and you can see there is even a picture of a cooked pigeon. So it's very strange. But what we can learn from that is that they probably have a content creation team, because those PDF documents and the content of emails is unique, it's original, it was not copy-pasted from the internet. And generally with like cyber espionage group, APT groups, like lure or decoy documents are not very well done, nor not original, etc. But in this case, they are really producing like real content. Another interesting wave was in April 2024 when they targeted people living in the Kharkiv region of Ukraine. So they asked people to leave by April 15. And what's interesting is at the same time, the Russian army was trying to break lines around the city of Kharkiv. Of course, it doesn't mean that there is a deep coordination between Operation Texonto and the Russian army. They might just follow the news as everyone else because this operation was public. But at least it shows some kind of level of coordination, or the fact that they really want to leverage some events that are happening in Ukraine. Then in September 2024, there was yet another email wave, but this time directed against people in the Sumy region of Ukraine. So it's a region in the east of Ukraine, near Kursk, where the Ukrainian army started an offensive in last August. So it's a bit similar to the one from April, and in this one they are saying that there will be a Russian airstrike, and that people can expect interruption in electricity and water. So again, nothing crazy, but typical Russian propaganda. So the last one that we detected, actually it was 2 weeks ago, exactly on Friday, November 8th, and this time it's a bit different because they say that there will be probably a forced mobilization of women in Ukraine in the future, and they are asking women like to start joining the Ukrainian army. So attached to the email, there was a picture which is kind of a propaganda leaflet. So if we translate it, so it impersonates the movement of a Ukrainian movement in the occupied territory. So it's a real movement with its own Telegram page, and they impersonate like this movement. And in this so in this document, they're asking like women to apply to the Ukrainian army. You can say also they mention TCC, which is like the recruitment centers in Ukraine. And actually, so this is the real Telegram channel of this women partisan movement, and you can see they actually are aware of this campaign, and they publish a warning to their followers. So there was targets in Ukraine, but also in Russia. So actually, in September 2023, there was a few domains related to Operation Texonto that were registered. So Navalny-votes.net, Navalny-votesmap.net, for example, and it impersonates the late opposition leader Alexei Navalny. But what's very interesting is that in March 2024, the day before the Russian presidential election, they sent disinformation to people in Russia. So in this email, they are trying to move the so-called Noon event, which is an event organized by Navalny's team, so his wife, because it was dead at that time. And they were asking people to go vote at noon. But in this email, Operation Texonto tried to encourage people to go vote at 5 probably in order to disrupt this protest. So what's also interesting with Operation Texonto is that they not only do IO, but also phishing, and that's actually why we are tracking this group, because it's more aligned with the mission of our threat research team. So in October 2023, they targeted a Ukrainian defense company, and they sent an email with a malicious link, and you can see they try to use urgency to make people click on the link, and they say like, their mailbox will be deleted if like they don't fill like some survey or something like that. And there was a link to a domain related to Operation Texonto. It's microsoftidonline.com. Actually, microsoftonline.com is legitimate domain from Microsoft, but not microsoftidonline.com. We are not able to get the fake login page, like the page, but it was probably fake login page for webmail. There was another case in November 2023. So this is submission on VirusTotal. I think they tried to phish people at EUPOL COPS, which is an EU agency for the support of Palestinian police. So it tells us that probably Operation Texonto, in addition to IO, is also tasked by gathering information about like high-level organization or like current geopolitical events. And finally, maybe the most strange thing about Operation Texonto is that they're also doing Canadian pharmacy spam. So beginning of January 2024, a few weeks after the domain infonotification.com was used for IO, they used this domain to send Canadian pharmacy spam. So Canadian pharmacy spam is typical business of Russian cyber criminals, and they'll try to sell like Viagra pills or stuff like that. So what does it tell us? Why a threat actor will be engaged in all those 3 very different kind of operations? So what we think is that there is a third-party cyber criminal that is responsible for procuring the network infrastructure, and they might like give it to someone to do the IO, and then they will use it for their own profit once the first operation is done. And that will be a bit similar to how Callisto or Cold River that we just heard about was operating. So there is a guy named Corinets. He was actually like a cyber criminal responsible for just like setting infrastructure, renting server, buying domains, and he was using same email address to buy domains for his proteins and stuff like that. Regarding attribution of Operation Texonto, We attribute Operation Texonto to a Russian threat actors, but we don't have like any more precise information, so we don't know who are the individuals behind that. So if you have like any more information, I will be happy to talk about that after my talk. And we also publish a blog post about Operation Texonto with some IOCs for the first campaigns, because it was published in February 2024. Thank you for your attention.